welcome to the Hungriest Knitter. This is episode 11. If it is your first time joining me today, thank you so much for stopping by, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. You can find me as Rachel Lynn C on Ravelry and Instagram and a little bit on Twitter. I have a few little housekeeping notes just to get us started. Number one, I wanted to say thank you to Kristen from the Skein Yarns podcast for mentioning the Hungriest Knitter on her latest episode. You should definitely watch her podcast and check out the latest episode if you want to hear about a bunch of really cool video podcasts that are out that she enjoys. And our second little housekeeping note is I put a PayPal donate button on the website. Please don't feel pressured, but I just wanted to put it up there because it does cost a little bit of money to maintain the site and to be able to host the videos and all of that. So any donations would be so appreciated to help keep the Hungriest Knitter running. So with that, let's get started. I do have a sort of off the needles today, so of course it's over there. Let me get it. I finished knitting my Gansey wrap, which is the Brooklyn Tweed pattern from many years ago. This is the right side. So you're not going to be able to see much of it, really. The quality is not going to be very good, but it's off the needles, so that is really exciting. I have literally been working on this wrap since, I think, 2011, which is terrible, but I think it's been one of those back burner projects for me. So I love this so much, and so now it just needs a good wash and a very aggressive blocking with wires, and I'll weave in the ends and it'll be done. So right now it doesn't even look like this is it folded in half. It doesn't look very big right now. But soon it's going to be pretty enormous because this yarn has want to grow. So I'm really excited to see what it looks like all blocked up because I know it's going to be stunning, and I'm so happy with the way it turned out. It's such a simple, really soothing, simple knit. It's a great project, I think, for beginners and for folks who've never read charts before because it's just knits and purls. I couldn't be more happy. I'm so glad that I'm actually going to get to wear this. Although I'm a little sad that it's off my needles because it's been with me. It's been with me through a lot of stuff. So that's all finished. And that is my only, well, that's off the needles. It's not a really finished object yet. And that is my only FO, my sort of FO for the week. I mainly focused on that since I last recorded. But I have done a little bit of other knitting. I'm still working on my Imposter Shawl, which is designed by the ladies from Fancy Tiger Craft. And I'm working on this. Can we see that I have like a tendency to the same kind of yarn? I'm knitting this in the Bartlett Yarns Fisherman's 2-ply, which is another very sheepy lanolin-y product, and I love it so much. It's like my favorite wool right now. I would say if you like the Brooklyn Tweed yarns, you're going to love the Bartlett Yarns yarn, and I kind of think it's a little softer. Maybe it's from the high lanolin content, but also I find that there's less vegetable matter and fewer knots in the skeins in the Bartlett yarns, which are all pluses in my book. And it's a great price point. Really great price. I think I've only added one more pattern repeat since I last showed this to you. You probably can't even tell that it's grown at all. I haven't focused much on this week. I think now I'm going to get back into it since I've gotten the Gansey wrap off the needles. But I was really sort of singularly focused on that one for a while, just because I figured it was time to finish, really time. And then I have one other project that's actually on the needles right now, which I just started last night, which is a brand new sock. So I literally have, half an inch knitted of this little baby cuff of a sock. Oh, there we go. Doing a bad job today. And this yarn, you're gonna get terrible colors for me today, as I am in my crafting area, and I'm backlit, so that's not gonna help us. But this yarn is from Wandering Wool. It's her merino cashmere nylon sock base, and this colorway is called Cranberry Bog. I shared this yarn with you when I showed my haul from the homespun yarn party in the early spring. Joelle makes the most beautiful, beautiful yarns, and red has been on my mind lately as like a color that I don't knit with very often. And I picked up this skein in my stash, and I just immediately, I knew I had to knit with it. It's so luscious. This yarn is knitting up so beautifully right now too. It just has a really nice springy bounce to it. It's super smooth and luxe because it has that cashmere in it, and soft, and like I just cast on while I was watching a movie last night on Netflix, and yeah, it didn't get too far, but like the stitch definition is just fabulous. I think I'm going to do a rib all the way down the foot. I was looking at the Perfect Fit Socks pattern from Pearl Soho and thought maybe that could be a fun pattern to try next, since the last one I did was the Afterthought heel. And I've just been wanting to try some different styles and techniques with socks. So I don't think it's going to be a huge game changer in terms of technique, but I think this sock in like a great rib is going to look fabulous, and still very simple, which I like. So I'm really thrilled with this yarn, and working with it is a joy. So I'm really happy with these right now. So that's everything that's on and off the needles, like sort of active right now. I do have one project that's sort of marinating. I did a stash dive the other day, last weekend. I was visiting my parents, or last weekend? It's got to be 2 weeks ago. I was visiting my parents, and like half of my stash still lives at my parents' house, which is extremely embarrassing and should tell you how much yarn I have. Too much? There's no such thing as too much yarn, right? A lot of really nice yarn lives at my parents' house, including like a massive glut of Rowan yarns. I have so much Rowan Lima that I don't know what to do with. If you have a great pattern that you think would suit the Rowan Lima, let me know. And Rowan Lima is like a chain plied yarn, and it has, I think, a bit of alpaca in it, which I don't even love very much, so I bought this yarn ages ago. It has alpaca or something. It's a little sheddy, but it's so soft. It's like soft and super light. I bet it would make a fabulous scarf, or, you know, a big cowl or something. But I just haven't figured out what to do with it yet. That said, tangent. I, of course, fell, like so many people have, I fell in love with the Whispering Pines shawl pattern, which just came out, which was designed by Molly of a Homespun House, and I've been trying to decide what to knit with it. So when I was at my parents', I did a little stash diving and came upon these fabulous balls. I have, I think, 5 balls of Rowan felted tweed, which also has alpaca in it, but this one doesn't bug me too much. In this beautiful icy gray that has these black and darker gray tweedy flecks in it. And yeah, this is it. This is the yarn. I think it's going to be fabulous. I love tweed, and I don't know, it just has this icy, snowy, wintry quality to me, and then pine trees kind of give me that sort of imagery. So I think it's going to be stunning and really soft, and I really love the size of the shawl that she designed. It's quite big, and I've been looking to knit a bigger shawl for myself. I've only ever knit tiny little shawlettes for myself, and I don't wear them too frequently. The only one I really wear is my daybreak shawl, because I wear it more like a scarf. So I'm really excited to cast that on. I think I might buy myself the pattern tonight, soon, and start that. So one out, one on. That's okay, right? With projects. I have a lot of works in progress, but I've been on a real shawl kick. And, well, speaking of, I'm going to knock the podcast a little out of order. I was going to do this in a different order, but I think I'm going to cast this on because we're going to do a knit-along. And it's because I've been kind of obsessing over shawls lately. So this knit-along, fall shawls, the Falling for Shawls knit-along, or crochet-along, whatever you want to do. So all you have to do to participate is to knit or crochet a shawl or wrap, and come join us in the group and do some chatter with us. Since I went on hiatus, the boards in the Ravelry group have gone really quiet, as is to be expected, and I'd love to see some more action and more community happening there. So there are going to be multiple prizes for the Falling for Shawls knit-along, and to be announced. If you are a spinner, dyer, and you'd like to donate a prize, please contact me. But otherwise, I'm getting some prizes together, and I want to do several prizes, maybe 2 or 3 that are just for folks who are participating in the threads, and then we'll do 1 prize for drawn on all the people who complete their shawls. I want to reward people just for participating and not just finishing, because I never finish knit-alongs, ever. I think the only knit-along I think I finished one like 6 months ago, and then I think I finished my socks in time for the spring sock-along, because I thought it would be embarrassing to not be done my socks for my own knit-along, but I never finished. So I really just want people to participate and have fun and enjoy themselves. So there will be some prizes given out to folks who are participating in the chatter threads. So if you check Ravelry, once this podcast is live, the threads will be up on Ravelry, and get chatting. Feel free to double dip if you're knitting a shawl for another. If you want to use this shawl for another knit-along, by all means. But please, I would ask that your start date be, what's today? I think today is September 11th. The podcast will either be up September 11th or September 12th, so please don't start before then. And because it's going to be a really long knit-along, I'm going to run this through November 1st. So I hope you guys are interested and excited, and I'm really excited. I think I'm going to buy. I think the Whispering Pines shawl is going to be my knit-along shawl. And then if you're posting on Instagram your photos, maybe let's do the hashtag falling for shawls KAL. I'll include that in the show notes and in the threads so you see it. And I think this could be fun. I wanted to get the ball rolling on some stuff again since I had been gone. So let's see what happens. I also, the swap idea is still brewing in my head. It's been a really long time since I've done a swap. I didn't hear back from many people who said that they were interested, but a handful were. I think the goal will be to do a mini swap. So one crafty item, so like a skein of yarn, or some, if you want to knit a little thing for your swap partner, and then one foodie product. And I think that might be a fun way to do it, but it's still all up in this business. So we'll figure it out. And maybe I'll start a thread in the group, and if you're interested, put a note there so that I know who to contact when we get the swap going. So now that I've gone all out of order, let me see. I do have a few stash acquisitions to share. Did I leave my other thing? I gotta go. I'll be back. Meanwhile, when I'm gone, you get a great view of my crazy thrift store chair. So that's cool, right? So my first acquisition is this fabulous project bag. It's a great drawstring bag with this cool screen print. This is from Fringe Supply Company. And Fringe Supply is doing a collaboration with a screen printer named Jen Hewitt, and they're doing a project bag every quarter for the entire year. So this is the second project bag. I really like it. Seems to be sort of inspired by moon phases to me. I think that's really cool. And I like this one. It's very sturdy, like a nice burlap. A nice sturdy muslin. The last one was a more burlappy material, more linen-y. It had a looser weave, so sometimes if I pack it too full, my knitting needles come stabbing through it, and I hate that. So I like this one a lot. So I still haven't put a project in it. Maybe my homespun house Whispering Pines shawl will be what goes in here. And you already got a glimpse of my other piece I got, which is another project bag. I'm on a project bag kick. I think this one's so cute, and it inspired me to cast on my cranberry socks because it's so red. This project bag comes from Lowland Designs, and this is a fabulous Etsy shop from the Netherlands, and the designer is an artist, and she does cool project bags and all sorts of really interesting things, and I love the way she combines patterns. These feel really funky, and I like the shape of this. I also have to say it's extremely, extremely sturdy. It's, fully lined in this cool I love the lining. It's so mod. So it's super thick and heavy duty, and I love a drawstring because there's no zippers for things to get caught in. It has a nice flat bottom. It's perfect size. I'm like obsessed with this project bag. Again, it's Lowland Originals, and I love her fabric combinations. I think some of the fabrics she uses are vintage fabrics that she got from her mom, which is kind of awesome, right? And she tucked in, this made me happy, she tucked inside this little paper craft she made. So here's the envelope, which has maps and flags on it. And inside is a little card that I can fill out and maybe give to someone. It says, "A little birdie told me." Isn't it cute? And it's like this simple little handmade, adorable card. I love it. And the colors kind of match. It's the red and white, which kind of matches the bag. So I have to send this to someone. Isn't it adorable? It made me so happy. So thank you so much to Lowland Design for this. It's so cute. Yeah, and she put her business card in a little handmade envelope, which is really just adorable. Let me pull out her business card so you can see it. So here she is, Lowland Originals. How awesome is that? Renee, thank you so much. So cute. Okay, so that's everything I have that's knitting related today. I do have a little bit for on the stovetop though. I have been really kicking in, ready for fall to arrive. And we didn't even have a rough summer in DC, but the humidity really kind of knocks it out of you after a while. So I'm really excited for fall, and I've been thinking a lot about the comfort of being home. If you follow me on Instagram, you may know that I've had a kind of crazy 2 weeks. I came home from the Labor Day holiday weekend to find several leaks in the apartment and a bunch of water damage and mold, and the apartment was sort of unlivable. So they put us in a hotel for a few days, and just had a lot of craziness going on all at once. I got sick. My guy got sick. I had some credit card fraud happen, just like all at once. And all I wanted was to be home and to cook myself a meal. Nothing grounds me and makes me feel more calm and centered than being able to cook myself dinner. So, with that in mind, I've been thinking about what are my comfort dinner kind of go-to method. And I want it to be healthy, but also just simple, basic, this is what I eat. And especially with fall coming, I think it's a very simple blueprint that I use, which is a healthy whole grain on the bottom. So, or sometimes it's something starchy. So sometimes I've been really on a kick for wheat berries lately. So wheat berries are a pretty common occurrence in the house. Farro, barley, something like that. Then roasted veg. And now is the perfect season for roasting. It's coming for us. I have sweet potato roasting in the oven right now. I love roasting carrots and parsnips and potatoes, and all those hearty root veg. But I also love doing, since the end of summer is here, I've been roasting a lot of cherry tomatoes. I think it just really brings out their flavor, and you can, like, they get so concentrated, which is great. Then I like to put a protein, and that lately has been a lot of salmon. I've been on kind of a salmon kick. Sometimes I just go completely vegetarian in the bowl, but I've been, salmon or like a grilled chicken or something, just something in there to make it a little heartier, and then some healthy fats. So lately for me it's been olives. I love salty, briny foods, so just a couple olives on top really gives me that kick, but also the fat from the olives is very fulfilling and makes you feel sated and satisfied by your dinner. So I guess my question for you is, do you have a healthy or comforting dinner blueprint that you kind of go to, that your family loves, that you do time and time again, that you don't really need a recipe for? You just know, if I have this component, and this component, I have a meal. And so what I like to do is take all those things and put them in a bowl together, and then it's just my little cozy, comforting meal. That's why I like soup a lot. I'm so excited that fall is coming, you guys. I'm so excited that fall is coming, which is why the other recipe that's been on my brain lately are pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. Now, I followed a recipe that I found on a mommy blog that I linked to in the What's Cooking Good Looking thread, and they were delicious, but they baked up a little weird. The batter was very cakey. They were almost like a muffin top, more so than a cookie. I almost wonder if you did them in a muffin tin, if they would puff up enough, because you do use both baking soda and baking powder in this recipe. I will say I'm going to start tweaking that recipe a little bit and see if I can get the cookies at a better consistency. Be careful with how much you dole out for each cookie. I wouldn't use an ice cream scoop. I think that would be too big, because the recipe told me, it spoke to me. The recipe said that the cookies would basically come out exactly the way you spooned them up because they're a drop cookie. I didn't find that to be the case. They really spread on me. And I don't know if it was an oven temperature thing. There weren't a lot of binding agents in it. There were eggs and flour, but with a can of pumpkin and the molasses and the sugar, it just kind of ran apart. So they were delicious, but they weren't the prettiest baked good I've ever made. So yeah, I'm going to keep working on it. But if you have a great recipe for pumpkin chocolate chip cookies or some pumpkin cookie, I would love, love, love to see it. I bet this would even make pumpkin bread pretty well, because it didn't win me as a cookie, but it was so delicious. We destroyed them. I made them for dinner with friends last weekend, and I think we had 5 cookies left. And it did yield a lot of cookies. We just wolfed them down, and I sent them home with a bunch of cookies, of course. So, yeah. And I'd love to hear sort of what autumnal recipes are on your brain, because I love fall. If it's baked in a casserole or in your Dutch oven, I want to eat it. I love stews and soups and hearty, warm, comforting foods. That's what I've been in the mood for lately. So that's everything that's on my stovetop today. And with that, I think we've come to the end of the episode. So thanks for joining me today. Please don't mind that I've been a little bit scattered. But it's good to start getting back in the rhythm of podcasting. And I love to hear from you, so please reach out to me on Ravelry, either on the threads or through PMs, or shoot me an email. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, your iTunes reviews are greatly, greatly appreciated. And yeah, please share the podcast with someone you know. I love knowing that we're building a little community here, and that brings me a lot of joy. So thank you for watching today, and stay hungry. Bye.